The drama surrounding Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua has now crossed into its most volatile phase, where suspicion, credibility, and the very legitimacy of boxing itself are being dragged into the spotlight. This is no longer just about whether Jake Paul can survive against a former heavyweight champion. It has become a referendum on how modern boxing operates, how spectacle collides with tradition, and how far the sport is willing to bend before something snaps. The conversation took a darker turn the moment questions about Jake Paul's physical transformation became unavoidable. The changes in his body have been dramatic, sudden, and impossible to ignore. Explosiveness, density, recovery, and power have all appeared to accelerate at a pace that has raised eyebrows even among seasoned fighters. Several analysts have openly suggested that this version of Jake does not look natural. Not as an insult, but as an observation rooted in experience. They point to patterns they have seen before, to whispers within training circles, to the conspicuous avoidance of certain testing discussions. For many, it is not proof, but it is enough to trigger doubt. Anthony Joshua, however, seems unbothered by any of it. His response has been calm, almost dismissive. Whether Jake is bigger, stronger, enhanced, or untouched by chemistry does not matter to him. Joshua frames this fight through a different lens. He speaks like someone who has lived inside pressure for over a decade. Olympic gold, world titles, devastating knockouts, painful losses, public scrutiny, and brutal self-reinvention. He has seen the highest highs and the lowest lows. That experience forms a confidence that cannot be manufactured or accelerated. Joshua believes that no matter what Jake brings, discipline and history will prevail. Yet skepticism continues to grow around Jake's rise. Many seasoned observers simply do not believe that belief alone can bridge the gap between influencer boxing and elite heavyweight competition. Joshua is not just another opponent. He is a fighter forged in championship rounds, tested against the most dangerous men on the planet. The idea that someone with Jake's resume could step into that environment and thrive feels, to many, like a step too far. This is where accusations of enhancement, shortcuts, and artificial progression gain traction. The belief is not necessarily that Jake is cheating, but that the pace of his evolution feels unnatural. At the same time, boxing's own contradictions fuel the fire. Performance enhancement has long existed in combat sports, often unspoken but quietly accepted. Recovery aids, compounds, and optimization tools are no longer fringe topics. They are part of the ecosystem. This makes the outrage selective. If Jake is enhanced, critics ask why the scrutiny feels louder now than it has for others. The answer may lie in optics. Jake represents disruption. He did not come up through the traditional system. He did not pay the same dues. That alone makes his success feel illegitimate to purists. Then came Deontay Wilder's comments, which poured gasoline on the situation. His suggestion that the winner could be determined by contract rather than combat sent shockwaves through the boxing world. While not universally accepted, the implication struck a nerve. Fans have already witnessed exhibitions and heavily controlled spectacles where the lines between sport and entertainment blurred beyond recognition. Past events involving legends appeared carefully managed, not competitive. That memory lingers. Wilder's remarks tapped into a fear many fans already carry, that business considerations may outweigh competitive integrity. This fear is precisely why Anthony Joshua now carries unprecedented pressure. This is not a title fight. This is not about rankings. This is about protecting boxing's credibility on a global streaming stage. Millions of casual viewers will tune in, many with little understanding of the sport's nuances. What they see will shape perception. If Joshua dominates early, boxing reasserts itself. If the fight drags on, skepticism explodes. If Jake somehow wins, the fallout would be seismic. Careers, reputations, and narratives would all be shattered. Joshua appears acutely aware of this. His decision to slim down, refine movement, and sharpen conditioning reflects a fighter treating this as a real threat, not a novelty. Cutting weight may not weaken him. It may enhance him. Lighter feet, improved gas tank, and sharper combinations could turn this into a nightmare scenario for Jake. Ironically, conditions designed to balance the matchup could make Joshua even more dangerous. Joe Rogan's perspective reinforces that danger. Joshua is not an aging relic. He is still an elite athlete who survived battles with some of the most technically gifted heavyweights in history. His size alone is intimidating, but his intelligence makes him lethal. He understands distance, timing, and punishment. Against Jake, he will not be worried about movement or deception. He will be looking to impose order, control space, and unleash power with surgical intent. Others argue that even if Jake can box competently, there are levels to this game that cannot be bypassed. He has trained for years, yes. He has resources, yes. But the leap from beating older or limited opponents to facing a heavyweight Olympic champion is enormous. That leap has swallowed fighters far more experienced than Jake. The first round alone could decide everything. Still, controversy thrives on uncertainty. Tyson Fury's decision to publicly back Jake with a massive bet added another surreal layer. Whether it was marketing, mischief, or genuine belief remains unclear. But it succeeded in doing what all great promotions do. It forced people to look again, to question again, to wonder if something they cannot yet see is unfolding behind the scenes. Derek Chizora's blunt assessment cuts through the noise. For Joshua, this is easy money and enormous exposure. For the sport, it is a dangerous gamble. Boxing exists in a space where entertainment and violence coexist. When those lines blur too much, the consequences can be real. This is not a game. Heavyweights carry life-altering power. If something goes wrong, there are no rewinds. And yet, despite all the concern, curiosity wins. The fight is official. The stakes are massive. The narrative is irresistible. Enhancement accusations, contractual conspiracies, national pride, legacy pressure, and spectacle all collide in one night. So now it comes down to this. Do you believe Jake Paul is being pushed beyond what boxing should allow? Do you think Anthony Joshua will shut this down instantly, or does the controversy hint at something deeper unfolding? Is this a legitimate fight, or a dangerous experiment dressed as sport? Share your thoughts in the comments, hit like if this breakdown made you think, and subscribe for more deep, story-driven analysis as boxing walks one of the most controversial tightropes in its history.